Alright guys, we got third series of the day. As stuff's going crazy here, trying to wrap stuff up before we come into Cycle 5. And Gold Cycle 4, we have this series left. We've also got the Losers Bracket semifinals match. And one of these teams will be playing there. The other one has already been determined as Shrek is Love. They took out Tang Zang Pang earlier. And the other semi-finalists will either be the Telechubbies on the Legion side or Solaire Club on the Hellborn side. And obviously that's going to lead them to be just 2 series wins away from going to Diamond. And obviously going to have to fight through the other, or if we're going to have to fight through Ogre, and then have to fight through the loser of the Winners Bracket Finals match, which is between Chat Roulette Boys and Rexars. Sorry, I gotta start off to a little bit of a late start here, and this is going to be a solo cast as a result of not having any of these morons to show up and cast with me. But I also have to note I casted the Winners Bracket Finals, the Loser Bracket Finals, and the Grand Finals live. So for those of you watching on VOD, doesn't matter. You can just head on over to the YouTube channel if you're not there, and everything will be posted up. If you're watching live, like one of you 4 people currently are, then unfortunately you'll also have to watch that live on VOD if you did not happen to catch it live, because it was last weekend. So you already know what happens, because again these are all replay casts, but I'm not going to spoil anything for you, and I will try to remain as objective as possible in my analysis. Unfortunately at this point it's kind of hard to avoid knowing who wins these games. But let's not talk about that anymore, because they are well through the bans and picks. Probably should have started this a little bit earlier, but I was like, let's do this, give it a bit of time so I can have a buffer, talk about stuff, and now I've perhaps given myself too much of one. Anyway, Doctor. Cthulhuphant and Doctor. Was that even a word I just said? It was a noise I made. Anyway, Cthulhuphant and Dr. Repulsor will be the first 2 bans by Curson. Switchblade and Ophelia getting banned out by Hellborn side, and Justman. And the Legion side going to pick up Parasite, Magnus, and Silhouette. Hellborn going to counter with Kraken, Rhapsody, and Tempest. Second stage of bans are Bowles, Flux, and Wretched Hag for the Legion team, Engineer, Empath, and Glacius for the Hellborn team. So Hellborn focusing supports on their second one. Legion side focusing a little bit more on initiators, in particular Bubbles and Flux, and obviously the carry potential and a suicide potential as well of Wretched Hag. Initial ban's pretty standard for the most part. Dr. Repulsor, not one we see get taken out too often, and that does lead Parasite on the board, which was obviously first pick of the Legion team, but a hero that is certainly powerful enough to not be ridiculous as a initial ban, and annoying enough that having it taken out of the pools not hugely surprising. But both teams going to go for the jungle route, and that's something that I definitely advise. It seems to work a little bit better than going for the dual support lineup for the most part, and we'll see how it works out for both of them. Legion's going to finish off their draft with Torturer and Drunken Master, which is a hero I don't like very much, and is actually one of the least successful heroes in Diamond Division. So we'll see if they can overcome that, and if they can, it's likely to be on the backs of a bunch of really powerful heroes in Magnus, Parasite, Silhouette, and Torturer to some extent. Torturer also not a very high win rate hero, but you can certainly see why teams pick him up. You'd think he'd be powerful, but well, we'll see. Not sure if he does too much. But anyway, one of the things I am a little concerned about is the lack of really good lockdown on this Legion team. They've got some single target stuff, but for the most part they're going to have some difficulty shutting people down in an AoE. When you compare that to the Hellborn team, you look at Kraken and Tempest. Obviously they specialize in that. In fact, that's pretty clearly what they're best at, as neither of them provides all that much damage. Gauntlet will provide a fair bit of damage, but it's going to be mostly burst, and I love that pick, as that's what they were missing. As I was about to say, they did not have too much damage. Now you're going to have a Soul Burst, you're going to have Demon Hands, you're going to have really powerful right-click auto attacks on top of negative armor from the Soul Stealer, and that's a pretty complete lineup in the end. Strong push, reasonably strong gank, quite strong gank with the Gauntlet and the Kraken. Excellent lanes, and just a very good, well-rounded team on the Hellborn side. Lots of burst magic with Gauntlet, sustained right-click physical damage from Soul Stealer, who also has burst damage. Perhaps the only thing they lack is a significant tank. Kraken is pretty tanky in general, and Gauntlet can absorb some damage as well, plus you have the Rhapsody heal and her ultimate, so not a huge issue when it comes to eating through damage. More concerning, perhaps, is the fact that the Parasite is on the Legion team, and Likely the only one that can reasonably survive. Oh shoot, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Likely the only one that can reasonably survive Parasite Burst, including other stuff. Give me a second. I'm gonna mute myself real fast. Sorry about that, guys. My attention was required by something else, which apparently could not be, could not wait for anything. I don't know why. Anyway, level 1 Conqueror obviously going down. Enfeeble from the Gauntlet is helping assist with this. And they're not doing it all that fast. Rhapsody, for some reason, has chosen not to go inside of the pit. She's just dropping dance floors off to the side, which I guess is nice, but it'd be kind of cool if they brought her auto attack damage in there. And she's finally kind of going like, yeah, maybe I do need to get in and start to right-click this thing. I'm going to be really late to the lanes now, and okay, so now she's like, alright, I'm going to go in and right... I don't get why she wasn't in there the whole time. They would have had this done a little while ago if she was pounding in autos, and instead it's going to take a whole bunch of time. Actually, she gets the kill, which is curious, but it's going to allow, Hotborn gets to level 2, but Kraken's going to be level 2. He's going to be real low on regen now. He's currently got just the 5 tangos. He already used the health pot. And in the bottom lane, his level advantage is going to be minimal or 0, considering Solette's going to get some free CS. And I don't know. I mean, level 1 Conqueror, almost always better than not doing it. And they're going to have a token on Gauntlet. Yep, that makes sense. I figured it was going to be him, but I wanted to make sure. Anyway, they will have the advantage as a result of that, both in experience and gold, but not the prettiest level 1 Conqueror attempt in the world. And meantime, top lane going to be the Suicide Drunken Master up against a dual lane, Soul Stealer and Rhapsody. I wouldn't be surprised if Rhapsody just destroys this Drunken Master in lane. Obviously, Zakato's going to help a lot. We'll have Dance Floor down as well. And actually, Rhap's going to take a fair bit of damage as she eats the Archer aggro. Probably was a better way to get that off than just walking through them, but wants to maintain lane control here for the Soul Stealer, and we'll do so. She's going to walk to the side once again and look to perhaps continue to hack the Drunken Master out of lane. Warner Sight's going to spot some stuff, and obviously does block the pole camp as well, so she is unable to gain lane control if they do lose it, unless she dewards that. One Demon Hand going to connect. Here's the dance floor on top of the Staccatos. No, just the Staccatos. And there's a stun actually from Drunken Master. Second Demon Hand misses, and dance floor means that Drunken Master probably doesn't want to keep fighting this. Yep. That's the power of Rhapsody. A little bit of an aggressive play there and almost gave up Bloodlust, but I think even with the Bloodlust kill gone in Drunken Master, she probably would have been favoring it, considering Soul Stealer would end up getting the kill onto DGM. Regardless, Gauntlet using a fair bit of life here in the middle lane to try to do something, and I would assume he's looking to use up all his mana as well before he drops his token. And we'll hook the Torture into the lane. Yeah, now he's completely out of mana and health, so go die and use up the token. Why not? I really don't want to use it. I apparently want to let it expire, but it's got 2.5 minutes, so that's not happening. And I mean, just go kill him. He's gonna die of the creeps. There we go. Well, either way, goes through, comes right back, and effective use there reasonably, as these actually managed to back the Torture off the lane fairly successfully. He will control the bot room, which is a haste. And Magnus already has a bottle. Look at the GPM here, Squirrel Phase on that Magnus, currently at 300 gold per minute. Compare that to a Gauntlet at 260 GPM, and probably not necessarily the strongest 2v1 hero, so definitely having a good time as a result of that token. He's also level 5 compared to the level 3 Torture and level 3 Magnus, which means once he hits level 6, this is a free kill on Torture. And there's basically nothing that Magnus can do about it, especially if he gets good Gauntlet Blast and hits both. which could in fact lead to a kill on Magnus as well. You currently look at Magnus' health, 606. And Gauntlet Blast at level 1 does 300 magic damage. He's got level 3 Infernal Stability. Oh, shoot, bottom lane. Mania gonna fall, actually, on the Silhouette. Gank there from Rhapsody, and they managed to get the kill. So, this Kraken gonna have a lot of good times as well. I mean, not trouble. 363 gold per minute. And the Silhouette now down at 250. So, Mania gonna have really big problems here. And as I was saying, middle lane Infernal Instability gonna be 260 magic damage. And you have the hook as well, 100 magic damage. So, that's about 660 magic damage pre-mitigation, plus auto attacks, and that should be enough to take down either Magnus or Torturer, whomever he chooses, as long as the other one doesn't stun him in the middle of his combo, which, again, should be relatively easy to avoid with a well-placed Gauntlet Blast. Rhapsody has successfully rotated to the middle lane, and I guess they're going to use that to pick up a kill. They are out-leveling these Legion heroes pretty heavily, and Gauntlet Hook not going to connect. Now that it's down, they're feeling a little bit more brave. I'm not sure if that's warranted before we hit by Torturer, so that's going to help out both of them, of course. Top lane, I haven't talked about it too much, but Drunken Master up to the Bloodlust, now currently at 106 gold per minute, and that's not going to get much better. Cannondorf at 390 GPM, and obviously he is full up on souls at 30. His level 3 soul thing. Soul Steal. Hey, that makes sense. And will continue to accumulate damage once he hits level 4, and obviously this Drunken Master trying to stay in lane, very, very difficult. Soul Steal currently hitting for 126 damage. Not the easy fun times. Anyway, middle lane, actually, they will catch somebody out. That was an interesting camera movement. And let's just go back all the way to the beginning. Rhapsody going to be in some trouble as she gets the stun in. Gauntlet Blast onto the Torture. Infernal Stability will help kill her. And meantime, Rhapsody going to get jumped out. Actually, Hook from Gauntlet, not going to connect on anything. He is level 6, but obviously already has used his ultimate on the Torture. Ends up being just a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, Kraken coming in onto the Magmas, drop the Torrent, and the release of Kraken. Pretty easy kill. Parasite going to head right back into the woods, is level 6, so he's actually having some pretty solid farm. As Parasite's currently just under 300 gold per minute. In fact, the top farmer on his team, and the second highest levels, as he has the second highest experience per minute. Mania on the Silhouette, the only one that is higher. But things not going very well for Telechubbies. That initial Kongor kill obviously has snowballed, and as a result, the Hellborn team is going to continue to take an advantage. Tempest looking for something. Tempest ultimate actually right on top of the Drunken Master, and that's going to be a pretty easy kill. Demon's Hands helping to clean stuff up, and Tempest going to turn this into a top tower push as he takes over the creep with his little elementals. And continue to do some pretty solid tower damage. Rhapsody coming in from the side as well. Going to drop a dance floor, and that'll help clean up these creeps. No, it won't, because Solaire has Demon Hands, and it'll just help keep her creeps alive. That's a pretty easy tower kill. Cannondorf all of a sudden at 485 gold per minute. So, I don't know, this is unfortunate, because Telechubbies, they really looked good. I mean, to get here, they beat Twisted Fusion, which is the team that was in Diamond last cycle, and I keep saying that. And if you've seen, I think, every single cast that the Telechubbies has been in, I've mentioned that fact. It's because it matters. Like, that's not a small feat for them to have come in here and then done that. They beat Rating Before Dating, and Rating Before Dating beat Frog No Hippo, so that's not any kind of small feat. It took them 3 games to win that series. Rating Before Dating definitely had a good start to Diamond or Gold Division as well, also coming up from Silver. And they lost to Rexar's 0-2, Telechubbies did at least, which, too bad, but I don't think there's too much shame in losing to Rexar's. They're one of the better teams this cycle, and they did make it to the Winners Bracket Finals, so not a huge surprise really that they managed to take the series, and that they would pick up a loss to Telechubbies. At least we get a loss against that team. No shame in it, really. And looks like Hellborn's side going to push the bottom lane in. Need some counter, though, as release the Kraken. Going to get dropped actually right onto Torturer's head. Pretty easy counter right there. Off the side, they managed to pick off Rhapsody. Here comes Facehog, and Tempest is going to fall as well. So all of a sudden, Kraken feeling like he's in a really bad position. He's pretty damn tanky. Charge going to hit a tree, which means he's not going to be able to survive, and he's going to realize that. Might as well throw as much damage as he can out before he goes down. Meantime, Tempest Elemental's going to get cleaned up. Double damage Rune on Magma's going to help out with that. So a really nice defense actually there from Telechubbies. Getting them back into this game, really. And they were down 4 to or 6-1, and they just picked up 3 hero kills, and they lost just, they're down 5-1, excuse me. Picked up 3 hero kills, they lost Torture, obviously not that big a loss, it is their hard support Torture, and as a result, gold lead that was slipping away from them is now just 4,000, experience 2,500, and again, considering the level 1 Congo and the advantage that that gives you, not just in the terms of the golden experience, but also with the token, really very helpful. Anyway, in the middle lane, Magma's going to be in some trouble, but gets the Steam Bath off. We'll see actually if he can survive this. I don't think so. Torrent goes through, last auto attack is going to help kill him, so he actually had a Lava Surge. Kind of surprised he didn't use it. I don't think it was on cooldown. In fact, I'm entirely sure it wasn't. So for some reason, choosing not to use it, and he must have seen Kraken coming. It's not like he can't have vision down the hill. If he just Lava Surged away, that would have been a pretty easy getaway. But I guess a bit of a misplay there from Mag, and it's going to be Hellborn's cue to push in the mid tower. Of course, they've already taken the top, and Temp is going to be here. We'll continue to push this down. Torture going to try to do whatever he can to stop the push. Staccato stuns on the Minotaur. We'll slow Parasite down a little bit. Just use the rest of your staccatos, buddy. Okay, apparently not. Top lane, SolC they're pushing this in as well. Tier 2 tower, not as valuable even as this Tier 1 mid in terms of map control. So Legion side trying to put up a bit more of a spirited defense here. We'll also use the Glyph of Fortification. I don't think it's going to be enough to stop this tower kill, but it's definitely going to slow it down. And Parasite in the front line's basically hanging out. Minotaur going, come at me, bro. Tempest Ultimate is available, so is the Release of Kraken and the Soul Burst. So we've got all 5 heroes grouped up here for the Hellborn side. Legion side are missing their Silhouette, and they're going to lose the tower once again. But what will happen here comes the Eruption. Actually not going to do anything really, because the Lava Surge is way too late. Epic's not going to be the first one to die. There's the Rhapsody Ultimate as well. Everybody in the Legion side getting locked down and killed. Torture, the only one to survive so far, but that's probably not going to last very long, as he's going to be in some real trouble. Gets charged up the cliff and into the cliff. That's a stun. A couple more auto attacks to finish him off. One more will do it. SolC they're going to get it, and that's going to be another kill for the Hellborn team. So they pick up 4 hero kills and a tower. They're also going to keep pushing this mid tier 2 because, hey, why not? Meantime, Silhouette does get a tower kill in the bottom lane, but I don't really understand why they played that the way they did. They should have just sacked that tier 1 tower. They were not going to get it without Silhouette's help. And even with Silhouette's help, they probably weren't going to defend it because the Hellborn are just too far ahead. They could have just traded tier 1 for a tier 1. It wouldn't have been a great trade because the mid tier 1 is more valuable than the Hellborn's long lane tier 1, but at the same time they wouldn't have lost 4 heroes in the process. So, seems like better decisions could definitely have been made, and Kongor is back. They killed him just about 10 minutes ago. We were at almost the 11-minute mark, and we'll have a second Kongor kill relatively easily this time. Obviously, with everybody having a lot more levels, Gauntlet continuing to apply the Enfeeble, this should be somewhat of a simplistic hero kill, or a Kongor kill, compared to last time, no doubt. And presumably we'll see a token go up on SolC there, who's looking to drop a Nullstone. Not going to be a bad item at all, especially against this Parasite, who's going to try to slow him down and silence him. And the only other real targeted ability they have on the Legion side is the Drunken Master Lunge, which again is a stun that is valuable to cancel, so I have absolutely no problems. They're going for the Shrunken Head, or the Nullstone here. In fact, I don't think he should go for the Shrunken Head. It's going to stop some damage from Magnus, and it'll stop his stun, but it's not going to stop the Drunken Master stun. It's not going to stop a lot of Silhouette's damage. It won't stop the silence from Parasite, and it's not going to stop the impalement from Torture. So I don't think there's really enough damage and lockdown on this Legion side to warrant picking up a Shrunken Head. I prefer to see the Nullstone into a Portal Key. Speaking of that, Gauntlet actually picking up his own Portal Key, so we'll see what route SolC chooses to go here, but he's at nearly 600 gold per minute, so he can make more or less whatever item choices he wants to, and it's going to be fine. I mean, you can go Wingbow, you can go Savage Base, you can go Whispering Helm, you can go more or less anything at this point. You're just so far ahead in farm. I mean, he's 200 GPM over the highest farmer in Legion side, which is Silhouette, of course. And when you're that far ahead, especially this early on, it's really, really hard to make mistakes that'll lose you this game. In fact, at this point, I mean, I don't want to say that Telechubbies is dead, but they're really close to it. It's going to take some pretty serious throws from Hellborn's side in order to get them back into this game, and that's just never a position you want to be you want to be in. I mean, you don't want to be where you are relying on the opposing team to make mistakes for you to win the game. That's not you being in control of your own destiny, that's you putting your fate in the hands of your opponents, and shockingly, they don't always have your best interests at heart. I think, in fact, Solaire Club are pretty bent on winning this series, which would necessitate Telechubbies losing it. And as a result, I'm guessing that they're not looking to make too many mistakes here. everybody on the Hellborn side pretty much having a pretty fantastic game, even though Rhapsody at 235 GPM, not outfarming anybody on the Legion side except for the Drunken Master and the Torturer, but definitely 235 GPM on a hard support here, especially a solo support, is quite strong. She has Plated Greaves along with the power supply. And she has continued to keep vision up. In fact, speaking of her, she might be in trouble. Lava Surge misses, as Magnus did not realize she was going to stop right there, so instead of targeting it, instead just targeted the ground. Drunken Master nearly dying in the top lane. We'll see if Gauntlet can find him and lock him down. Apparently not really interested in chasing, which is probably the right call, as he had too much backup from his team. So yeah, taking a look at the vision here on the Hellborn side, I have this really aggressive ward from Rhapsody, as well as a ward of Rev, which actually is going to spot the Legion ward of Rev, unless Torturer sees the Hellborn's ward of Rev first. And their ward of Sight spot in the bottom rune, and that's just about it, as it looks like Sandmarch is not super concerned with the amount of vision his team has, which is fair, because, again, this is a team that is pretty far ahead, and Torch's going to try to de-ward. Instead, he's going to die. And it's a bit unfortunate. He's also going to lose his ward of Rev. A huge surprise. They were basically waiting for that to happen, I think, as Gauntlet, you could see, was sort of hanging out. And we'll get a hero kill, and then they get a Rev ward kill out of it as well in the background, and actually Parasite can be in a lot of trouble. Last auto attack will finish him off. There goes the Torrent. Puzzle Box gets popped as well, but I guess, there's a short cooldown on Endfast. So, unable to get the kill, or get inside the second creep, and Epic Slacker can take a second death here. So he is 2-2-2, 295 gold per minute, second highest farm on his team, just out of that Magnus and just behind the Silhouette. Hellborn side going to continue to group up and this time push the bottom lane, a minute 32 left on the token. So this is more or less very opportune timing for them. SolC has picked up a forward key as well, which is, I think, the correct item for him, and I'd like to see him go into either a Wingbow or a Geologist Bane at this point. I don't think that he needs Geos too much. It could I think it will take Parasite Silence off, which would be nice. It could disjoint the lunge from, what's his face, Drunken Master, but it's not going to do too much against the Eruption, so it depends really on which way he wants to go. I think Wingbow is a slightly safer choice. It's going to give him similar damage output, and I think be a little bit more useful, especially with the evasion factor. But as I said before, he's so far ahead that he doesn't really need to be all that concerned about what he goes. Now he's nearly 300 gold per minute ahead of the Silhouette. So he's approaching double her farm. That's where we're at right now. And obviously, if you're Silhouette, you're not really happy about that. Speaking of her, she is in the top lane, looking to push this out. SolC coming in with some auto attacks, and you see Syl just melt. Last auto there will follow her, and it's not quite going to get the kill, but Silhouette will be just fine. So working on her own Nullstone. Not going to be able to pick it up quite yet. Still about 500 gold away. Hellborn side, I suspect Rhapsody is working on a portal key, and that would complete the set, as the other 4 heroes on her team have PK. Tempest, in fact, going for the PK after the Astrolabe and Ring of Sorcery, so strong early items, of course, allows them to push and team fight, and now he's going to go for the slightly greedy portal key. There are a number of cancelers on this Legion team, especially if he does not have Shrunken Head. If he does have Shrunken Head, he can still get cancelled by Drunken Master or Parasite, so it's not like the Shrunken Head's going to do a ton of work for him necessarily. It's not going to make it an uncancelable Tempest Hole, but it would stop some notable stuff like the Magma Stun, the Silhouette Tree Grapple, and the Torture chain reactions. Now, it's likely, depending on his positioning, he could avoid all those anyway, even without a Shrunken Head. Perhaps the Magma's going to be the only ones concerning, as he will have a portal key up about 500 gold, but if they have to keep Magnus back to stop a Tempest Hole, that likely means no Eruption, because it's going to be difficult to channel the Eruption for 2 seconds and then stop the Tempest Hole without your team dying. So, either way, I don't really think they can rely on him to stop the Tempest Hole. It's got to be whoever can, essentially, as they really need Magnus to initiate more than anything. Parasite probably going to be the #1 target when it comes to stopping that ult. Kraken has lost his token as it expired, and Hellborn don't seem particularly concerned about that. They're instead just going to push in the base because they probably realize we're massively ahead in this game. You look at the levels, you look at the GPM charts. They have to think SolC is just absolutely crushing the Silhouette, and they can see her items. They know she doesn't have too much. She doesn't even have Nullstone completed yet. Drunken Master apparently working on a Shrunken Head. That's not going to be online for a very long time. Parasite has finished his puzzle box, and it's currently level 2, which is not bad. His farm's been alright. And That puzzle box can be annoying in these fights, but not game-breaking by any means. And of course, Magma's still off of his portal key, and once again, they know that on the Hellborn side. So this is a very opportune time for them to push. They got 4 PKs up. They have all of their they have all of their ultimates, and there's really no way the Legion team can oppose them. This should be free racks. Anyway, cracking a charge in onto Torture and just leaves. Puzzle box get popped. Here comes the eruption actually onto SolC. He could die. Not enough coming out as the Hellborn's Rhapsody unable to get the ultimate off before they could in order to save him. But here comes the counter. There goes Gauntlet and Kraken with the Tempest Hole right on top of it. They finally cancel the hole, but it's not going to be enough. So we're just going to pour it out. Rhapsody's dead in the meantime. Looks like Kraken could be in some trouble, but Parasite in fact does not want to follow that up. So 2 dead on the Hellborn team, including SolC there, who is very valuable, as the burst from the eruption was too much. So well played there from Magnus, and that'll actually allow him to get his portal key up. I'm assuming he didn't have it before then, because I think he got the kill, right? No, he didn't. I don't think he had it before then, but that means it's a reasonably impressive eruption. And we managed to get it without the Hellborn side noticing he was channeling. And Rhapsody looks like he's working on Pushbook. Meanwhile, the jump is onto Parasite, and the Glacial Blast, and a lockdown, and damage from Gauntlet a little bit too much now. Torture getting anti-chain reactions onto Tempest, but he's still probably going to die. Magma's coming in here, Infernal Instability's there. Actually will connect onto 2. Silhouette now looking for a counter. Tempest going to be in some trouble. Pops the Astrolabe. Will be able to get away, I think. Nope. Actually, Portal Key on Magma's doing a lot, but now he's out of mana. And Tempest is trying to walk away. Yeah, and he'll be able to get out of there with his own PK, as they were unable to keep it on cooldown. And a solid play there from Hellborn's side, picking off a free kill on Parasite and losing nothing for it. And we'll see if they look to do Kongor once again. It should be back up here in about a minute. Would be their 3rd Kongor kill, of course, so Token and Bananas are online. Presumably we'll see a Token on the SolC and some Bananas on this Kraken. Or even Tempest, actually. Tempest has currently the highest health in the game, which is reasonably surprising. Mighty Blade on top of the Astrolabe and Steam Boots, which are currently set on Strength, yes. So nearly 1500 health on this Tempest, and it could be very difficult to bring him down between not only the base health, but the effective health as a result of the Astrolabe heal. And definitely going to be a tough hero to deal with. So yeah, he is going Shrunken Head after picking up the Portal Key. Pretty standard build, of course, on Tempest. And certainly one that you can't fault too much. It's going to stop a fair number of stuns on this Legion team. And still a number of cancels, but probably not enough to deal with the fact that they have as much follow-up as they do, notably the Kraken and the SolC. Ooh, that'd be a good Rhapsody ult, actually, if they gave you magic immunity and made it larger on the staff instead of what it currently does. Anyway, Drunken Master's dead. Or at least the Kraken popped right in his face. And Nasty Baboon not having a great time too. Actually 70 GPM. So he's recovered fairly well. I say that. Yeah. He's actually out GPMing this Magnus, who was dual mid against the solo Gauntlet. So Nasty Baboon is finding farm where he can, and it's proving fairly effective. He will have his Warhammer in just a couple of seconds. Bottom lane, meanwhile, Mania going to be some trouble. Pops his Illusion as he didn't have it out already, and that's going to be a death. So I think that's right there a hallmark of an inexperienced Silhouette player, is you don't have your... If you're going to be that far out, you need to have your Illusion already up and somewhere else. Because if you don't, then you're going to... That's exactly what's going to happen. And you're going to think, oh, I can just pop my Illusion, but then your Illusion is right next to you. It doesn't work very well as an escape mechanism if it's not far away. And she definitely had time in between the lockdown to be able to pour it out to her Illu. Instead, she will take the death. 340 GPM on the Silhouette. Once again, you look at the GPM charts, and everything is coming up Hellborn. So 17-6 hero kill advantage. The levels are also massively in their favor. XPM charts out XPMing everybody in the Legion team except for Rhapsody, who is below most of those Legion heroes. And once again, Kongor going down, so no huge surprise there. Bananas picked up by SolC actually. It's a little bit interesting. It's like Token's going to go on Kraken, so that's not exactly what I would have predicted. I would imagine SolC would be in the front lines, putting in those auto attacks on the towers. They figure if he gets jumped, it's possible he won't be able to use the bananas if he gets stunned and killed, and so he should put a Token, but I guess they don't feel that way. Kraken is a little bit tankier as well, so you get a little more utility out of the bananas because he has higher base health. And we'll see. They are grouping up mid, looking to take some ranks. I think they're about done with this game and looking to end it sooner rather than later. I mean, it is It's not like they have to. They definitely still have a lot of late game presence, and I would say even more late game presence than the Legion side does, as Magnus Eruption will start to fall off once people start to pick up Shrunken Heads. Parasite, still a viable hero, but a little bit less bursty as the game goes on, not quite as useful. You look at the Hellborn side, they have the Tempest ultimate, they got Kraken who maintains his effectiveness, Rhapsody's ultimate still stays strong, she has a strong stun, Gauntlet's burst is not as good, but it's still quite good, and then obviously the Tempest ultimate, and the Soul Stealer, so, which I might have said some of those things already. I forget. Anyway, Geo's Bane was the choice by SolC there as well. Eruption going off in the background, not going to be cancelled. Here it goes right onto Kraken's face, but again, he's got the Token of Life. Actually, didn't even do all that much damage anyway. In the background, SolC explodes, gets a couple of kills right off the bat. There's Kraken ultimate on top of the Tempest ultimate. There's 2 more kills, and Manian will be the only one to survive. In fact, he might not even. Nope. SolC going to back off, realizing there's no reason to dive that deep. Might as well take this Rax. And that'll be mid-Rax. That'll probably be bot-Rax as well. Look at the buyback situation. Epic Slacker on the Parasite, the only one to have a buyback, and so it's going to turn into a top Rax as well. SolC, they're going to be in the front lines, basically taking all this damage, but it doesn't matter because Rhapsody is healing it right back up. So we're going to have 2 lanes of Rax down here in favor of the Legion the Hellborn team, and I don't see any realistic way that the Legion comes back from this short of 3 or 4, maybe even 5 players DCing from the Hellborn team. Torture going to get caught out and killed. That's what it was. Kenendorf in chat informing us that, yes, he misclicked and took bananas instead of token, which explains that. And explains why everybody was sitting around the Kongor pit going, wait, what? Anyway, Magma's going to jump in, has a Steam Bath. There's actually no reveal, but Kraken going to charge him right out, and Magmus is now dead. But 23 to 6 hero kills. I'm expecting a CC vote any second, as there's really absolutely no way that Telechubbies can come back from this deficit. And Hellborn Infector is going to go bottom and take the bot Rax as well, because, hey, what's better than Super Creeps? Mega Creeps! And what's completely unable to deal with the Hellborn push at this time? The Legion team! Soul Stealer is just standing in the front lines going, yeah, come at me, bro! Geometer's Bane! Pop the Geometer's Bane! There it is! Good on ya! Ariel going off as well, because why not? Option not even available, and without that they don't have all that much magic damage, so weird that they'd go for a full Barrier Idol, but again, like I said with Kraken before, it doesn't matter all that much. Anyway, Gauntlet gonna get the hook in on Torture, but it looks like he'll survive. Soul Burst in the background and the Rhapsody ultimate, stopping all the damage from the Hellborn, and they are cleaning up in the meantime. Already got 3 kills right off the bat on Torture, Parasite, and Magmus. Meantime, Silhouette not gonna get away. Shrunken Match the only one to live, and a hat trick from Kenendorf against. I don't understand why Telechubbies are still in this game, and I don't understand why they've been in this game for like the last 8 minutes. It's been over for a while. We got 26-minute Mega Creeps here. Kill the Courier. Come on, SolC, kill the Courier. Apparently not. He will pick up a Shrunken Head, which, again, I don't think it's that effective this game. There's a lot of physical damage and physical lockdown on the Legion team, but I don't think it matters. Gauntlet gonna miss the hook, but Glacial Blast keeps stopping the Drunken Master. He's having a hell of a time trying to get out of there, and it's not gonna happen. Kenendorf will finish him off. Looks like Torture and Rhapsody going at it, and Torture realizing she's not gonna win that fight, but Rhapsody not gonna win the fight against a couple of backup heroes from the Legion side. So 3v1, Rhapsody does not win, but here come Hellborn's backup. Magmus is going to be in trouble, and the Demon Hand will finish off him. Are they just letting the Kenendorf get an Immortal here? Is that what's going to happen? I don't see why they would still be in the game if it wasn't that, but I mean, he needs 6 more kills. It's not like it's going to happen overnight. But they're shrining. Like, they're done. Solaire Club is done with this game. They don't even they're not even pretending to drag it out anymore. They're just like, let's win. I don't care about getting hero kills. Which is fine. I have no problem with that. The game is already over, and if Telechubbies are going to not CC, then you might as well just end it, not waste your time in Sanitarius on Soul Stealer. Why not? Tempest popping the Shrunken Head for no reason, and the hook back onto Silhouette. Actually, she's going to get out as the Eruption from Magmus doing a little bit of damage. Silhouette Illusion going to be killed, and there goes Rhapsody actually as the well is shooting out fire, but again, there goes the Shrine, so not a huge problem. And in the end, pretty easy victory there for Solaire Club. That's not the thing I wanted to do at all. That's the thing I wanted to do. So they managed to take it in 27 minutes and 30 seconds or so. I'm kind of shocked it took that long. It probably should have taken a little bit under 20 minutes considering how ridiculous their lead was, but Telechubbies unwilling to not only CC, unwilling to call a CC vote at all, so I don't think they really expected themselves to come back in that game, especially if they had Mega Creeps at 25 minutes, but I guess that's as far as I'm going to get in that thought process, I think. Well, that's going to do it for Game 1, and Solaire Club taking a pretty deserved 1-0 series lead, looking to knock out Telechubbies in Game 2 and move on to the loser bracket semifinals. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes for Game 2.